Hi everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Diana Laura, and in today's video I'm going to be reading an essay about my favorite sculpture of all time. But before we get into that, I will ask you kindly to go check out my Etsy. I just put out some new stuff there that you can buy, or you can just look at if you're interested. It would really mean a lot if you could check that out. I will also be talking about why I haven't been on YouTube much towards the end of the video. So if you're interested in that, just wait until the end. And yeah, I will go on with this essay, which I called The Walls, a Rock, and a Box. Now, I haven't been to every museum in the world, and I haven't seen every artwork in existence, and I certainly haven't seen half of my favorite art pieces in person, and there isn't many in that list to begin with. I am a picky person. I am not a person who's easily impressed. I don't stare at art pieces for 5 to 15 minutes at a time. I am not that person. If something does end up grabbing my attention, it's because of an emotional pull of curiosity and astonishment. And let me just prove my point by saying that this work, Negative Megalith number 5 by Micheal Heizer, is a 15-foot rock framed by a metal box that is in, in the gallery wall. This is nothing new from Micheal Heizer. A lot of his work is a combination of nature and industrial materials. Actually, before this piece, which is located at Dia Beacon, I had only seen photographs of his work or metal sculptures that are very similar to his work. If I showed you an image of his sculpture, most specifically Collapse, at Glenstone in New York, you might think that you've seen something similar to before. I know I would say I have. In fact, if I hadn't gone to Glenstone myself and seen the work in person or analyzed a photograph of this piece, I'd put it in the same category as all the other sculptures that look similar. But what makes Micheal Heizer's work different are these boxes. In Collapse, we're not just looking at sticks of metal within the box, but there is another square created by the walk path and the brick walls. The sticks are contained in a box, and the viewer is also contained in a box. But what is very interesting is that the metal box containing the giant metal bars is in the ground. He doesn't just hang a sculpture at a pick location or hang it in a gallery wall. He also changes the surroundings to fit his vision. This is important to note because in many articles that I've read, his work is categorized as earthworks, and hearing that actually pisses him off. But earthworks does have to do with landscape. Usually artists within this category add to the scenery or build with materials found in that area. One of the most famously known is Spiral Jetty by Robert Smithson. This work is 1,500 foot long, 15 feet wide. It's made out of rocks, mud, and salt crystals, and it is right out of the Great Salt Lake near Roswell Point in Utah. Art and Antiques says that the jetty has been submerged for a good portion of its life due to changing water levels, but periodically emerges. Needless to say, similar artwork doesn't last for a long time. It either disappears because it's been drawn, it submerges because of water, or what makes it noticeable is eventually overgrown by grass. Though in the same article, the mention of metal and concrete is an addition to earthwork sculptures, I can't help but wonder if that detail is specifically added because of Micheal Heizer. Now, I am not going to go into more detail about these artists or the article itself. If you want to check it out, it is by Art and Antiques, and it will be in the description down below. My point is that for me, Micheal Heizer's work stands out. That be through him digging into trenches at a very specific spot in the desert, creating his own little geometric city in the middle of nowhere, or by placing rocks on concrete as if the concrete was a pedestal. His works are permanent. It is noticeable. and usually at spots where you could only see it if you had a helicopter or were on an airplane. A lot of his sculptures are in land that he buys, so they're hard to reach areas. But Heizer fully changes what existed to something new, something that will stay. And that's where a lot of his interest in archaeology, ecology, and landscapes shines the most. Archaeology actually being one of the biggest factors. Archaeology is the study of human history and prehistory through the excavation of sites. In an article by Art News, Heiser speaks of Europe being one of the biggest continents to do a lot of landmarks, and he thinks that they're overdone in Europe and that it should be a chapter that can be closed. However, in North America, he is shocked at how many artists haven't worked with land, and so he felt like it was his duty to manipulate the land. Now, as cool and interesting as all these sculptures are and sound, it's not actually what fascinates me about Michael Heizer. It is what you see in the galleries. And thus, we start the full analysis of what is described as a large stone entombed in a wall cutout. To me, one of the craziest pieces I've ever seen, because it is rare to see a sculpture actually be in the gallery wall. It is already insane to want to put metal in the ground, but in a gallery wall, a 15-foot rock that is 2 feet in depth. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's the fact that I saw it in person, but in that same museum resides his geometric shapes sunk in a concrete floor. And I wasn't as impressed with that as I am with this giant rock. But maybe it's also because I thought that the rock was a painting because it looked so perfect. And actually, who would just think of putting a giant rock in a gallery wall? Well, none other than Michael Heizer, of course. Now, I'm really pumping up Michael Heizer. He is not my favorite artist, but I do really like Negative Megalith. It is my favorite sculpture, and well, I'm finally gonna tell you why. But before that, I'm gonna talk a little bit about. Okay, I got a little bit excited. But before that, before I get into Michael Heizer's work, I'm gonna talk a little bit about myself. If you don't know me or you don't know the kind of work I make, I use a mixture of three materials: stone, wood, and copper. These three materials could easily stay in its purest form, or I could transform them and combine them, and when put together next to each other, they are equivalently equal. But these are three materials that I love at its purest point. But seeing a rock not changed, not chipped, not shaped in its context is beautiful. I was bound to love this piece, especially since previously I had also fallen in love with William Turner's landscapes about the Industrial Revolution. Now he's a painter, but same idea, same concept. The idea of industrialization with something that is natural is fascinating to me. Bending metal and then placing its geometric shape in the desert, or taking a rock that is unchanged, placing it in a metal box that was built specifically for the shape of the rock, is also super fascinating. Imagine being already this very heavy object that probably had to be poured and planed and welded just so people could notice the beauty of something that you can go find out in nature. But that's the thing. Unless you're looking for it, you are not going to see the beauty of it. And so Michael Heiser isolates it for you so you can notice how beautiful it is. And he made you notice it by putting it in a wall. I also want to give props to Dia Beacon because it is not just Michael Heiser's doing. The spot in the room in which this work is displayed at was thought out. No matter which way you come in, either from the left or from the right, you are forced to turn your head to the back of the wall in order to intake the mass of this piece. Surrounded by two completely empty walls, all your peripheral vision is overtaken by the sculpture. If the sculpture is already 15 feet tall and it's elevated a foot from the ground, the walls continue for another 4 feet above the piece. And in that open space for the other walls, there are windows letting in bright sunlight. With the walls being white, the entire room is illuminated and the rock is lit from two different angles. This entire setup allows the rock to show its qualities, the main one being a natural blue sparkle that it has. And this is the first thing I picture when I think about the megalith. Now, if we further analyze the piece and ask ourselves, why was this rock chosen? Well, we won't actually know the answer unless we ask Micheal Heizer himself. But we do ask this question because the rock doesn't perfectly come to a peak. It actually tilts to the right. And though it is hard to see, it does touch the metal. But I do think that form is very important because the base of the rock is so thick that it is hard to see the back of the metal box. If the rock did come to a point, it would be too much rock. But by it being slanted, it allows for a good portion of the metal to be shown. And by having that negative space up there, it actually draws your eyes to it. Seeing that is unexpected because the rest of the rock is symmetrical. Heizer works a lot with negative space, so I'm assuming that he chose this rock because of those reasons. To me, this work is truly amazing and inspirational. Actually, through the reading of several articles about him and analyzing his work, I've thought of several sculpture ideas based on his work. I would love to recreate that feeling that I had when I first saw this sculpture. I honestly don't know how to explain it, but I felt strength and beauty by everything that surrounds us when I saw this piece. I saw the beauty of nature itself, and I saw how man made things is protecting it. And I love that feeling, and I would like to recreate it. Based on the sculpture description at Dia Beacon, Heizer's goal was to create a feeling of awe, it coming from transcendence. I don't know if that's what I felt, but I definitely felt something, and this was the first time I had a feeling like that. After that day, I actually had seen other work that's made me feel a certain type of way, and I hold that feeling very dear to me. It actually has inspired a lot of work that I'm doing right now. And anyways, it is crazy then to know that he has done other work similar to this at other galleries. And though I have not seen them in person, they are very inspiring because it truly makes me believe that these rocks inspire the entire composition. They fit so well in the metal home Heizer has given them, and it is amazingly astonishing. His work, Potato Chip, is one of them actually. It is displayed in such a unique way where you know what is levitating it. It is unreal and angular, but still has a human quality to it. Then there is Fragment A, also displayed at Gagosian. This one, instead of being a rectangle, is an inverted pyramid, and the rock itself has an outward movement to it, seemingly making it feel like the rock has been sucked in or like it's projecting out. It's both feelings at the same time. These and many other works of his that combine both natural and industrial elements so well, I'm just a fan of. Of course, not all his artwork looks like this. There are some pieces that I don't like that include color, and it's not like a colorful color, it's like white or black, and there is metal there, but I'm not a big fan of those. I just don't understand them. But then he also has other works that are breathtaking and say so much, but so little at the same time. Well, what can I say? His work is inspiring, but it is Negative Megalith number 5 that is taking my number 1 spot right now. If I saw Fragment A and Potato Chip in person, I think I'd fall in love with them as much as I love this one. Again, for me, it's that feeling, and I did get that feeling when I saw the images, but I'm sure seeing them in person will just blow me out of the water. I can't deny that even just thinking about that rock in the wall, I relive the same experience that I had when I first saw it. And that's something to say about this piece. That's how much it impacted me, and that's why I love it. And so that's the end of that. Thank you so much for sticking with me and listening to my rant about this sculpture. I really do enjoy talking about art. I noticed that in my commentary video about the banana on the wall or banana duct tape, I think it's called. I really did enjoy going over art like that and talking about it. I don't love to record myself doing my own work. It is already like a lot of work, you know, making my sculptures plus recording it. That is just too much. So you won't see videos like that anymore. I'm trying to do art full time. I'm trying to do a bunch of stuff, and then I'm trying to do my own stuff for a show that I want to apply to. And so I am really loading myself with just work, and I don't have time to film like I used to. So writing these essays on my free time and then just recording them is very simple, very easy. And yeah, I'm hoping to do more videos like this in the future. If you do enjoy this one, please let me know by either liking the video or leaving a comment. Now, in terms of where I've been, I feel like I made my update video not too long after this video if you just look at my channel. But I I said in that video that I did YouTube to motivate me to make art, but now I am motivated more than ever. And even though it's becoming around winter time when I get super lazy, like I have stuff that needs to be done. And so I'm really already motivated enough without having to use YouTube. YouTube now kind of seems like should I force it? Should I not force it? I'm not trying to force it. And doing a video like this is honestly really helpful for me. I also kind of want to do one about me going to college as a DACA recipient. I feel like that'd be a very interesting video as well. I won't be showing my face anymore in these videos like I used to. I'm actually thinking I might delete some of the videos that I've uploaded before because I don't really like them as much. I'll leave some of them. The backpack ones I think are nice. The rest are kind of suck. I just want to make more commentary-esque videos. Those are the videos that I like to watch on YouTube. And so those are the videos that I'm willing to make right now and enjoy making right now. So yeah, that's a little bit of that. I said it was going to be an update, you know. I'm hoping I'll be back on YouTube more consistently. Maybe once a month. That's not consistently, but I am a busy person right now. So I don't make no promises. That's what I'm feeling. Besides that, please go check out my Etsy page at Diana Laura Designs. I will leave a link down below. I am selling earring, custom-made necklaces, and copper designs on a wooden frame. Also, if you just want to keep up with my artwork, I post almost daily on Instagram. So that's also at Diana Laura Designs. And that's basically it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Leave in the comments what you thought about these pieces that I've shown, or tell me about your favorite artwork, and I'll probably look into it and maybe we'll make a video about it in the future. That's basically it. See you next time.